When you talk about energy levels, I mean, as females, we're used to, like, sometimes I remember it really affected me a lot when I was swimming.
Yeah.
Because there would be days where you just, you felt fast as lightning.
Terrible, yeah.
And then the next,
Next terrible.
Yeah, then
yeah.
the next terrible. And it could have
Yeah.
been, oh, you overtrained or whatever.
Right.
But it was really interesting because now learning what I've learned, I'm like, oh, I can go back and correlate that to my cycle and just be like, oh, I just would feel like crap swimming that day.
Well, it's
and
crazy.
Then, yeah.
It's crazy because, one, we're taught to, like, first of all, PMS, that should not be normalized. Like, you do not need to feel that terrible when you're on your period.
Yeah.
And I think as females in athletics, it's like, oh, you just have to push through that pain when you're on your period and just, like, figure out a way to get through the workout, figure out a way to perform. How much medication we've all taken to try to perform because we're just trying to get through our trance.
The Myadol with the caffeine in it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Just trying to survive, really.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us put a lot of blame on ourselves too. Like, we go from being super motivated one week to not motivated at all the next week. And it's like, well, what changed? Like, why am I undisciplined? Why am I unmotivated? Like, why? Like, and it just turns into this blame thing. And what's happening is our hormones are changing. Like, we're just naturally more energetic. We're naturally less energetic. And that doesn't mean we perform differently. It just means our mindsets going into it are a little bit different. So the way I approach my practice, the way I approach performance just becomes a little bit different. It doesn't mean that I can't perform the same way. It just means I don't need to put blame on myself if I don't feel as motivated to do it. I'll still do it because I'm disciplined and that's what I need to do. But there doesn't need to be that guilt factor of, like, wow, I really don't want to get in the gym. Why don't I want to get in the gym?
There must be something wrong with me.
There's something wrong with me. Yeah, exactly.
So give me an example of maybe the way that you would treat your beach workouts differently during different times of the month.
Yeah, I think it's really funny because actually this just happened, but I was really starting to rev up my practices. And I was a little bit nervous because I was about to go into the menstrual phase, my period. And I was like, frick, I don't know how my body's going to handle that because in the past I've had PMS symptoms and it's been really hard to handle that kind of load. And we go into cycle syncing and they're like, oh, rest on your period. And I was like, frick, I can't do that. Like, I'm doing double days, I'm working out, this, and that. And something that I really think about in terms of training is muscle activation during my period. So it's like, I think about taking things a little bit slower, but really focusing on activating the right muscles, getting the right muscles warm. I really think about, like, healthy fats in my diet. Like, I up my fats a lot when I'm on my menstrual phase. I think about a little bit more like cooked, nourishing meals. And so this is kind of all the things that I teach and go with the flow that make you feel your best during those phases. So I actually got to the end of the week and I was like, wow, I felt great. I was like, I don't know how I did that. I was like, well, I do know how I did that, but like,
no,
it's crazy. Like, I was like, this would have never happened in college.
Yeah.
And I had no idea about all of this, that I could change just the smallest things, make the smallest adjustments, and my body could react so strongly to it.
And yet, as female athletes, I don't feel like I know I was never taught this.
Yeah.
You're newly out of college. I don't feel like it's something that we're talking about with female athletes as much as we should.
No, I agree. I mean, I think it's, like I said, like, it directly correlates to our ability to optimize our bodies, because what makes us feel our best is we're going to perform our best, you know? And I think just, like, understanding how we can change things is just really going to up people's performance.